much for snow. We're headed out in the rain. Maybe it'll change over to snow, I don't know, but it's the evening of November 8th, so we're going to go tough it out. I shouldn't even say evening, it's afternoon right now, so headed in, follow along, November 8th.
Welcome to the EDJ Whitetails. All right, we are out here in the rainy, snotty, beautiful rut weather day. It's about 1:30. We're headed in. I'm carrying an extra jacket with me. I went all the way to the north end of the farm and tucked the Ranger in up on the north end of the farm here. We've got an ever so slight north wind, and it's not ideal for the food plot stand, but I feel like that's kind of right in the center of the farm, and that's kind of right in the center of the action. And while it's risky, we're going to take that risk tonight and see what happens. Anything coming from the northeast and stuff like that, we got just perfect chance at. What I'm hoping for is with the little north wind that just kind of blows out over top of the east thicket. I know this is risky. It wouldn't be something I'd normally do, but it's November 8th, and I want to be right in where I feel like I'm going to have the best action, the best chance for a buck to get behind a doe. And those bucks that were chasing that doe around in the dark this morning, they headed off to the northeast, and this would put me up in that general vicinity. So while that was, 6 hours ago, 7 hours ago, they could still be running her all over the place. So it's hard to say, but that's the plan for tonight, and we're gonna roll with it. And we'll see once we get in the stand exactly what that wind's doing, because sometimes what it says on the weatherman's deal, and as we've seen on past videos, can be an entirely different story. So once you get out here in the land, so follow along on this wet Saturday afternoon for the episode of the EDJ Whitetails. All right, we've made it in. And actually, I couldn't get it on video, but as I was coming in, we actually walked right past a little buck. He was just kind of cruising on the road to the north of us, the little access road. And I had just ducked into the little patch where I would come in to go to this stand, and I caught a glimpse of him, and he just nonchalantly walked up into the thicket to the north of us. So kind of cool. He was out moving. I probably should have been in here earlier, but that's the way it goes. It's just before 2 o'clock now, and hopefully we have a productive evening here. I'm going to do a wind check, and then I'm going to settle in. We're going to get good and wet, I think, but this nomad will keep me dry. About the only thing that's probably going to get wet is my head, because I can't stand to have my hood on, but I'm sure at some point this evening you're going to see me on video with my hood up too. So hang in with us. Gonna do a little wind check and then settle in. Honestly, I'll take that. It's almost kind of swirling, like it goes down like you saw, and then it like angles back towards the pond. We'll see what we can get away with. At least it's not blowing right out onto the food plot. We're gonna take it. I know it's risky, but I just feel like we're kind of in the zone of where a doe is gonna be running in front of a buck. So we'll roll with it. It's a pretty good sized doe. Kinda hard to believe there ain't something right behind her. Just come out of the west thicket. It's kind of odd to see her all by herself. Well, right out of the gate, you see I've got my hood on. That didn't take long. Uh, just come out of the west thicket and made her way across. See if something ends up from behind her, but rain's picked up pretty good. It's coming down. It would be awfully nice if it would just change to snow. I just don't know if it's going to get cold enough. It's not quite that cold out here yet, so it's a good start on the afternoon here. It's kind of interesting. Off to our northeast, which there's no way it's from us. There's a doe back in on that ridgetop that is just blowing like crazy. It's interesting what can spook them this time of year, because who knows what's got her bugged, but she's way over there, a couple hundred yards, completely upwind of us. So nothing from us, but interesting to hear that going on over there. Maybe that'll keep stuff more our way. So the rain has picked up more, and the wind has also picked up. And as you can see, it's miserable, but it's also November 8th, so we're sticking it out. It's shortly after 3 right now. Haven't seen anything since that doe, but I'm hoping that's going to change here soon. The wind has become more consistent. It's still swirling in here, but with that little bit stronger, it's leaning more towards, like, it's blowing straight down into the ground here below me, but kind of right into the top of the east thicket. While not ideal if something comes out of the east thicket, everything else is game on. So we're sticking it out. I hate the fact that I'm already kind of thinking for tomorrow morning, because I would love the optimism of getting something done tonight, but my head's always turning. I'm absolutely infatuated with these white-tailed deer, as you can tell by me being out here in this miserable conditions. But pretty much not a day goes by without thinking about them, but especially with the land and doing all the work and everything. So while it may look very miserable, I'm smiling inside. I just absolutely love this stuff. So we're gonna hang in there. Just wanted to give you a little update. Still staying dry though. Nomad, staying dry. Kind of weird. Looks to be another solo doe over there. Unless it's got a little rack and I just can't tell. But I think it's a doe all by herself. She's not little. That's pretty good distance over there to that access road. It's another deer cruising that access road. Just like that little buck when we came in. So it might be a little buck. I'm not sure. We'll find out though. It's still that same doe. She's been there for 10 minutes now. And I know for a fact it's a doe. I just don't know what she's doing. She's just standing there. I don't know if she was bedded over there and got up or what, but doesn't seem to be anything around her either. Keep kind of getting worried about being too focused on her and not looking anywhere else and something gonna sneak up on me. Now that I know it's a doe, I'll just kind of let her do her thing, take a peek every once in a while. But there's another deer up there with her, and she's actually headed down towards the pond now. I don't know if that's a buck behind her or not. I'm hopeful it is, but we'll see. It's hard to even, I can't believe I'm even picking them out. I mean, they're up there ways and it's thick, so it's more than kind of nice. It's really nice that the leaves are down now and I can see distances like that. So it's just after 4, and I don't know if you can tell in the camera or not, but that has actually just started to turn. It's mixing in with snow now. It's not helping matters, and it's still wet. Um, it may as well be rain, but it's starting to get flakes mixed in there. You can see my camera lens is a little blurry right now. I'm having a heck of a time keeping the camera dry and keeping the microphones going and keeping them dry. But we're having fun. We're sticking it out. And those, I still never could tell what was behind that doe. They worked their way back towards the northeast. Actually went straight east right down that road, that access road that goes over to the northeast stand. So we'll see if something else comes out here over the food plots or something else comes from the north. But yeah, it's starting to snow. still back behind that clump of trees there. That it's a buck. I can't tell how big. I grunted at him to see if I can get him to come over here. Completely upwind, so it'd be nice if he'd come down this trail, but it almost seems like he's headed. Well, he's just kind of milling around now, but something about that tree this evening. Every deer's been behind that. Almost looks like he might be coming this way now. Yep. That's a nice buck. I can't get good footage of him though. I don't know what y'all were able to see on there, but he's just going right up that access road. He acts like he doesn't hear my grunt at all. Well, like I said, he just cruised up that access road. And I know it's a nice buck because it's pretty good distance. I can see a sizable rack. I don't know which buck it is, but I'm going to get my hands back in my pockets for a minute and see where he ends up. Hopefully he decides to, maybe he heard one of my grunts. Sometimes they'll act like they didn't. And maybe he'll circle around and come in here. We'll find out. Unfortunately, he's right downwind. You can tell he got skittish. He's not a shooter. He's a mature buck, but he's not a shooter. Pretty buck. He did just what I thought. I know he heard that grunt, and he worked his way all the way around, and now he's straight downwind. Yep. He just doesn't smell something right. He's not sure what to think. He's not super spooked, but he just knows something's not right. But I got a few pictures of him on camera. Like I said, he's not what we want to shoot, but a nice buck. Yep. Well, that got the heart pumping. That was the trade-off here on sitting over the food plot tonight. It's that wind is like northeast, and right where he stopped is right on the edge of our wind. As you can tell, he wasn't super spooked, but he knew something wasn't quite right. So he's headed off to the west now, but that was pretty cool. That'll just goes to show you that sometimes they'll act like they didn't hear the grunt, but you could tell when he come around, he worked a scrape over there past Elena's blind, and it was too thick for me to get any footage of that, but you could tell he worked his way around and was looking for that deer that made that grunt, and that's part of the reason that he was in the wind so much and caught our what scent we put out. Cool encounter. It's nice to get a mature buck on camera since last Sunday. So that one's been prowling around the farm the last couple days. He's not one I really saw through the early fall or even over the summer, but it's been around the last couple days. We're gonna keep at it here. It was pretty fun though. That made the evening definitely worth it. It's good to see some deer, even though the conditions are kind of miserable. But I'm having fun. Whoa. We'll be right back after I clean this lens. All right, we'll roll with that. Sorry about the technical difficulty there, but as you can see, it is getting dark. It's right about 5 o'clock now, and I've stayed dry thanks to the Nomad. But I won't lie, it is chilly. We'll put it that way. Double check my mic. Yep. Haven't seen anything. Oh, there it goes again. Bear with me here. Haven't seen anything since that buck encounter. That's gonna drive me nuts. Haven't seen anything since that buck encounter, and there it goes again. All right, that's how this evening has been conditions wise. But honestly, it's been a great evening. I'm glad to get a mature buck on camera and have a few other deer in the mix there. All in all, I'm pretty pumped. We're going to end up right back in the same area tomorrow morning. It's either going to be this stand, the pond funnel, or the northeast stand. I feel like this is kind of the hot zone right now. It's where we need to be. That little access lane of ours just to the north of me here. Every deer tonight was on that except for that doe to the south. So we need to be close to that. For whatever reason, they're using that a lot right now. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. It's getting dark fast, and probably still got about 20 minutes. So if I see anything, I'll add it in here. But all in all, like I said, great evening. It just goes to show, no matter how bad the conditions, when it's November, it's time to be out here. So just make sure you got the gear for it. Go to nomadaoutdoor.com and get you some good stuff. Keep you warm. So, for the EDJ Whitetails here on the evening of November 8th, I'm Eric Johnston. We are right back at it tomorrow morning. Until then, get outdoors.